Let me just scoot my hips forward and let's see how that works.
You know, we always advise that, but while you're pregnant, that you look around your own house and figure out your, your hot spots, like your bed, favorite chair, sofa, so that you have the right pillows to do that. But this is good because you have to work through a new spot in front of everyone. So.
So am I leaning back far enough or should I lean back further?
Well, I think you can go by your comfort and see. We can see when he gets on your body how that's working, because we want to make sure that he's able to rest fully on your body.
Okay.
So we're going to do it that way. Okay. So here, you want to try? You might need the pillow over on this side. Here you go. Relax. So how does that feel? Does he feel like he's on your body? Is he fully resting on you, or do you need to scooch forward a little bit more?
No, I think we're good.
Oh yeah? Okay, well that worked out really well.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, a lot of people think that women who are large-breasted just simply can't use these positions, but I think you're a wonderful demonstration that that's not the case. I mean, you know, women whose breasts are a little bit lower, they might not have their babies in that straight up and down position. You know, you might do it, you could do it more diagonally or straight across like you have. Whoops. He says, I need to adjust a little bit.
Yeah.
But you've got lots of options. You know, when you were pregnant and we talked about, you know, he could even go over your shoulder, which probably in most cases is not something you would do, but there's lots of different ways to go about it, and it looks like he's handling that really well. I like the way he's got his hand there, because his hands are part of his GPS, and that helps him to stimulate your milk production and also just to feel secure where he is.
Yeah, well, I noticed that I can't see his face completely,
Uh-huh.
but I know he's comfortable because he's feeding amazing.
Uh-huh.
And I'm comfortable because I can use both my hands.
That's wonderful.
Which is nice because in a lot of other positions you're constricted and you can't really, you know, like at this point if I had other kids, which I don't, but if I had other kids I'd be able to tend to other kids, or I'd be able to, you know, do something on a computer if I needed to.
Right.
So it's just really nice. And being larger breasted, that's what I thought at first, was that I wasn't going to be able to. But I mean, the only thing that I can't do is see a larger portion of his face.
Right, because your breast is rounded, and so that sort of prevents you from looking into his eyes. But yeah, obviously he's doing very well in that position, and it looks like he is completely resting on you, which is great.
No,
So that takes a lot of the burden off in terms of supporting his weight, because a lot of moms, they think early breastfeeding is so much work because they really are straining their arms by holding their baby, and that's not something you have to do in these positions.
Yeah, he wasn't a big baby when he was born, but I can't imagine somebody having like a 9-10 pound baby and having to hold him up like this. That just sounds like a lot of stress.
So one of the things that you mentioned was that, you know, because you had been taught at the hospital to breastfeed this other way, you hadn't really mastered the natural positions. So you had given it a try at home and found it to be challenging. But now obviously you're doing really well with it. So maybe you could share, you know, what it was that was different about what you did at home and what you're doing here, and, you know, what adjustments you found to be helpful.
Well, I was noticing that he was like, I know in the previous videos, Teresa said that it was like breast boxing, because he was like fighting me on it, and he was kicking his feet and he was pushing against me, and it was like he didn't want to. He was so hungry and he was getting so frustrated, and I was getting frustrated, and I was trying to feed him and I couldn't. At the end, it wasn't that I wasn't leaning far enough back, because when I was at home, I was still partially sitting up and holding him up. But right now, I am not even holding him. He's just resting on me. And I think that was the problem. That was the problem.
So you think the trick then was you just needed to move your hips forward a little bit more and lean back a little more and have more of gravity helping.
Yeah.
Because he was still struggling against gravity, even though you were leaning back a little ways.
Yeah. And in the other videos, some of the other women were smaller breasted than I was. And they were sitting up a little bit higher.
Yes.
So when I was seeing those, I was like, oh, well, they're sitting up higher.
Right.
That's how I'm supposed to sit. But being larger breasted, I needed to just lean my body back further and tweak how I'm made. And tweak how he's made.
Yes.
To better suit us.
Right. So it's like two pieces of a puzzle. You know, I think I mentioned that to you before, where every mother has to find their own way. And in your case, your nipples are a little bit further down on your breast, so so having him straight up and down isn't necessarily going to be a practical position for him. And having you lean back a little bit more, because your nipples are a little bit more closer to the underside of your breast, then that allows the gravity to help in a way that works for the two of you. So, you know, someone else might be able, I know we had a video of Janine with her baby Timothy, and she was sitting in a wing chair, and that worked really well. She just kind of flipped him over and put him on, but for you, because of the way your breasts are made, that might not be a position that works as well for you. So everybody's got to find their own way, but there isn't just one right way that has to be for everyone.